Hello and welcome to the Thirsty Gamers. My name is Zach, and today we're looking at Manaforge. That's going to be on Kickstarter August 22nd from a local designer here, Bryan Kline from Mystic Tiger Games. And this game is a 2 to 4 player game about chucking dice and doing some resource management. I'm going to show you a little bit how the game is played, show you a little bit of the mechanics, and the components are prototype components. So, obviously the components are going to get better. So we're just looking at a preview copy of this. Let me show you how it's played, and we'll be back to give a little bit of thoughts at the end. All right, this is the main board of the game here. This is where all the items that are going to be able to be constructed. This is where they are placed. You're going to have 3 separate piles. The first kind of couple rounds or so of the game is the dawn cards. Then you have the noon cards, and then the dusk cards. It's going to be 9 rounds of this, and basically when people construct items, they're going to take the items and put them in their tableau. Well, at the end of a round, these items are going to go away into the discard pile, and then 6 more items are going to be drawn to be able to work with during the next round. All right, this is your tableau area, basically your workshop. At the beginning of the game, you're going to be able to draw 2 talent cards. And these are just 2 random ones that I picked. But you're basically going to be drafting this with the other players at the beginning of the game. Some of these have long-lasting abilities. Some of these you have to activate, just like you would activate a workshop card. But they all have different types of benefits. You're also going to get 4 dice. These are your how you're going to be getting mana. So you're going to get 4 of these. Also, with your talents in the lower right corner, you're going to be getting the matching dice for these. I'm going to start out with a pink and a brown die. Some people might not be able to start with all 6 though. Then, as you buy cards, you're going to be putting your workshop cards in this area. You have up to 4. If you ever are going to be getting more, you're basically going to discard one of your workshop cards and bring in the new one. The other thing too is you have store cards. These again are going to be, some of them are going to be long-lasting effects. For instance, this one says gain 1 prestige plus 1 for every card in your store with 1 in its name. So there might be some good game-in benefits or just long-lasting benefits for store card. After you roll your dice, you're going to ready them in this space. As you spend dice, you're going to be basically going to be putting them in this section. The other thing too is you have an array of tokens here. These are going to be spent, with your mana on your dice to basically buy cards. You're going to be storing all your tokens here in this area. All right, now we're going to get into the main part of the game. You're going to be able to do a set of actions. You're going to be able to do as many actions as you would like in any order that you would like. So the first action is spending your dice. Again, like I was mentioning, you're going to get a set of dice at the beginning of the game. You're going to roll them, you're going to ready them, and then you're going to be able to spin those dice. Now keep in mind that you can only spin up to 4 dice. So for instance, if I got, this one, then you would be basically getting 1 water mana. Now for instance, these are not permanent, but if you flip it over, this is. So then you would be getting this gem to be able to put into your token supply to use for any of the later rounds or this round. These are permanent, but your dice here, they're going to be things that you're going to be able to be using if you get mana that's not permanent. So you're going to be wanting to manage that, and that's kind of where the resource management comes in. The other thing too is that you have these special powers. Is on the fire die, and then that one basically it's gaining the effect of any of your other dice. So each of these dice, are gonna have a special effect like that. I'm not gonna go into all of them, but that's a cool little benefit that you can use for that round as well. The other action you can do is you can actually build a card from the items decks as before. The cost of the item is in this top left corner here. So for instance, this one would be 2 water, 1 earth, and 1 wind. Once you build this, this one's a workshop card, so you're going to be able to put that in your workshop, and they're going to be able to use those abilities. Now keep in mind, when you do build this, you're going to be able to do that first action when you exhaust it. But also, you can start spinning gems to get better benefits of that card. And again, that's another action that you can do. They kind of coincide with each other. The other one with the build item action is you can actually gain a prism. And this is once per turn. This is kind of cool because this basically lets you use this as any type of mana that you want. As I said before, another action is when you actually exhaust a card, you're going to gain that item. For instance, this one, you're going to gain 1 water mana. Then also with that, you're going to be able to do that many times. The other thing is you're going to be able to upgrade item cards. This is where you're going to be throwing those gems on there. For the first one, you're going to throw in a water, and then you're going to gain another ability. So for instance, I'm going to throw this water on there, then I'm going to be able to, when I tap this, I'm not just going to be able to get a water, I'm going to be able to get either an earth or a fire mana. And then the last action you can do is you can actually activate your talent card. These vary from talent to talent. Some can be activated at the beginning of your turn of the game. Some of these can be activated during your turn. Some of these can be activated multiple times. For instance, whenever I build an earth, an earth type card, which would be a brown border, then I'm going to gain an earth gem. So these are going to have just variable abilities, and these are kind of what makes your wizard unique in a way. And that's it. That's Manaforge. At the end of the game, again, like I said, there's going to be 9 rounds, and what that means is all the items cards are going to be gone as well. Everybody's going to add up their prestige points. Whoever has the most prestige at the end of the game wins the game.
This is the Thirsty Gamers. My name is Zach. Welcome to the Orlando Unpub, and I'm here with Bryan.
Hello. From Mystic Tiger Games.
Mystic Tiger Games, and your game is going to be kickstarted soon, Manaforge. So kind of tell us a little bit about the game, the mechanics, the theme, and everything like that.
Okay. Yeah, my game Manaforge is coming up on Kickstarter August 22nd. Okay. It's a game about crafting magical items.
Sweet.
Basically, in the game, you play a wizard who specializes in making magical artifacts, specifically for adventures. If you think of any kind of a fantasy anything, either Dungeons & Dragons game or a movie like Lord of the Rings or something, they have all these fantastic items that they do their good deeds with. Those items have to come from somewhere.
Yeah. Okay. So it's like that resource management type.
Well, it's
a little bit.
Yeah.
Kind of.
So yeah, you play as a wizard that makes magic items, and you have your own shop where theoretically where the stuff you make is going up for sale, but you're not the only shop in town.
Okay.
So you're competing with the other shops in town, the other players, to make your shop the most famous. And you make your shop famous by having the best stuff, by having the most powerful artifacts.
So what made you come up with this concept? This is your first big release?
Yeah, this is my first. This is my first game. First time doing this.
What made you decide to do this? And
and
where did that game idea come from?
Honestly, from an old doodle.
Okay.
I was going through some old grade school books, and I just found this doodle I had made like years ago, and it's like, actually there could be something here.
Right.
And the idea just kind of evolved.
That's
crazy. I've been working on this thing literally for years, and it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Came from that just little sketch to what it is now.
Do you have other games in the pipeline? Little
there
ideas
are.
And things like this?
I have a couple of other ideas, but they're just getting started. This is the only one that's anywhere close to finish.
All right. We're rolling footage of the game here, but when is it going to be kickstarted? What's the date?
August 22nd.
August 22nd. I know we're going to be doing a Kickstarter preview for you. We're going to have you on the podcast. But anything else you want to say about the game?
Yeah, I guess mechanically.
Sure.
So mechanics, I guess there's like 3 steps to it. where to make items you need mana. So you roll dice to get your mana. You spend the mana to build these items. Some items will either give you points or some will give you more mana on future turns.
Okay.
And then you're trying to accumulate the most points.
Right. Okay. So it's progressively gets a little bit.
Yeah. You're building up kind of your engine.
Awesome.
Like you might have a card that gives you fire mana, and then a card that takes fire mana and turns it into victory points. Essentially, you're building like fire swords or something like that.
Right, and there's a little bit of card management too, right? Okay, so tell us a little about the cards.
Let's see. The game runs 9 rounds.
Okay.
And the way the deck is set up is you have dawn, noon, and dusk cards, where dawn's on top, noon's in the middle, dusk is on the bottom. Each set of cards has a different purpose. The cards on top are more basic resources. They'll give you more mana coming in, more dice to roll each turn. The cards in the middle are kind of your point engines. They'll convert mana to points.
Okay.
And then the cards on the bottom are large, expensive, hard to make cards that are worth a bunch of points all at once.
Right.
So there's kind of that progression to the game.
Awesome.
All right, so that is Manaforge by Mystic Tiger Games. Interesting game here. So you're working on your tableau here. You're working against other players, but you're really building up your engine. This thing can work with this card, and this thing will work with this card. You're using your gems, and you got to really kind of work around your dice rolls and mitigate that with the gems and things that you get over time. It's kind of a cool theme here. So it's not something I don't know if it's been done before. Obviously we have a ton of magic type games, fantasy type games, but having this whole aspect of, hey, you're in your own little workshop and you're selling these items, I think it works well here. It's all about, if you really like games about just working your own engine, managing your resources, chucking some dice, you're really gonna like this game. I'm gonna put the details in the description of this video. Again, Kickstarted August 22nd, and Brian's really excited about this. I've talked to him a couple times. As you saw, I put a little interview in this video as well that I had with him personally. So you get to know the designer that you're gonna back. So I really appreciate you guys watching this. Look for more reviews in the future here. This is Zach with the Thirsty Gamers. And as always, stay thirsty for games, my friends.